Welcome back to Being Authentic with Patrick and Mary on the mic 92.1 and the mic 92.1.com.
We're so excited. We have Leslie Jordan on the phone. Leslie was, of course, Beverly Leslie on Will and Grace, Emmy Award-winning actor and comedian, and he's going to be at the Barrymore Theater coming up 19th of this month, so just a couple of weeks away. Leslie,
my very first trip to Wisconsin.
Ooh,
I've never been.
Your very first trip? Well, we can't wait to welcome you here. I'm super excited to have you. I'm an enormous fan of yours, Leslie.
Well, I'm excited to come. I was getting a massage yesterday at a legitimate one. No rub and tug, no happy endings here. Too old for that. But the guy my masseur was from Madison, and I told him I was going to be at the Barrymore, and he said, "Oh, it's just lovely. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful." And he said, "I hope your liver's in good shape. They drink a lot there in Madison."
Yes, we do. We do.
Well,
how are you?
Well, things are really good. I'm actually in Los Angeles this week. I just worked on a new television series called The Neighbors.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's about aliens, and I play a black woman stuck in a gay man's body. So I had lines like, "Oh, hooker, please." And, it's insane. But, I just carved out this sort of amazing career. I won the Emmy for Will and Grace, and then I thought, well, I'm set. And nothing, nothing. Nothing work-wise in Hollywood. It was just the weirdest thing. So I started hitting the road. Over the years, I've done one-person shows all the way back to 1992 was my first one-man show.
Uh-huh.
I've gone all the way to the West End of London last year with my one-person shows. And so what I do is when I don't have work in Hollywood, I hit the road. And I can't really, my one-man shows don't really travel because they've got 55 light cues and sound cues and a set. And years ago I worked with Lily Tomlin, who's the queen of one-person shows, and she asked me, she said, "Do you make money when you're out on the road?" And this is when I used to travel with a producer and a set. I said, "Well, it's $1,600 just to ship my set." She goes, "Your set? Oh, my God, honey, you don't need a set." She said, "When you're out on the road, just you and a mic, they love the stories. They don't need all the bells and whistles. You'll make money." And so, I've carved out this amazing sort of career where I do about 45 cities a year. And what I'll be bringing to the Barrymore is just an evening of who knows what.
Oh,
people say, "Well, what are you going to do?" Well, it's like a musician. I just sort of sit down and I'm not a stand-up comic. I don't tell jokes. I tell stories about growing up gay and the Baptist church and la, 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 and on and on and on and all, getting to Hollywood in 82 where it wasn't really a big, I wasn't really openly gay.
Right.
Anyway, it's crazy. 82 was kind of wink, wink. All the casting people were gay. And
I'm trying to picture you winking and them not knowing.
Winking with a mustache. I had a great big mustache when I got to Hollywood.
Wow.
This was like, it was 82, so we were coming out of the 70s.
Sure, I was just going to say that was
big old kind of porn star, 70s porn star mustache.
All 4'2" of you.
But I had an amazing acting coach that leaned into me because I didn't want people to know I was gay. I didn't think I would work.
Right.
And she leaned into me and whispered in my ear one day when I was, I'd lowered my voice. I was walking around like John Wayne. She said, "Will you listen to me?" She said, "Honey, I kind of think I know what you're doing here and hiding." And she said, if you'll listen to me and you learn just to be yourself, that will be your selling point. That's what you'll sell."
Right.
And
awesome. Well, that's cool.
Because I had kind of grown up, I had this. When I was in fourth grade, I had to memorize a poem, and my mother bought me a tape recorder. And this is what I recorded. I recorded "Gather Round Children" and "You Shall Hear the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere." And then I pushed play, and this is what came out. gather around children, and usually I thought, oh my God, I sound like a woman. I opened my mouth and 50 yards of purple chiffon just come flying out.
My favorite quote is, "You came right from your right from your mother's stomach into her heels. You fell right from her
My
stomach."
mother said I fell out of that's my mother's line. She said he fell on my wound into my high heels. But she's got a new one now. She said the other day. She said, well, Leslie was like a magpie when he was little. Now, a magpie is this bird that builds its nest with anything shiny. A magpie will find shiny bits of stuff and build a nest. My mother said, Leslie was like a magpie, honey. Anything shiny he was attracted to.
It's pretty amazing. You were raised with a military father in the South, Baptist South, and, they were very supportive of you.
Well, not.
What
it's
kind
weird.
of?
My mother and my grandmother sort of took one look at little Leslie and thought he's going to need some help. And so they circled the wagons, and they created this amazing little secret garden where it was okay for little boys to play with dolls. It was okay, but we didn't tell Daddy.
Okay.
I'd be in the front yard twirling a baton. My daddy would come home with his army buddies. Daddy, watch me twirl. And so, he was like, well, why don't you twirl in the house?
Right. Oh, that's great.
And I'd say, Mama's scared I'll break something. He said, well, I'll pay for whatever you break, if you'll please. And, we're talking 1958. I mean,
Right.
When I was real little. So it's not that they were supportive. I just don't think they knew what to make of me. My mother was and always has been. But then when I told her, when I was about 12 and I started kind of figuring out what was up, I told her that I thought I was gay. You thought I'd stabbed her in the heart.
Aww.
And so they started sending me to therapists, like these Christian therapists.
Oh, so the conversion ones.
Yes, I've been through all that. And it was ridiculous, just ridiculous.
I'm picturing you going to this and then critiquing the wardrobe that the therapist is wearing. So you really need to work.
I finally got one. I got this one therapist he just knew it was total bull. And he just let me smoke cigarettes. I was 14 years old. And we'd sit there and smoke cigarettes while my mother waited outside. But what was cool is I could talk to him about anything. I had other things I could talk to him about.
Oh, nice.
And
Which, speaking of, I had a friend mention to me that apparently you performed drag in a bath towel once. Does this sound familiar?
In a bath towel?
Yeah.
I think that's Bette Midler. No. I know what he's talking about. I used to play dress up. My mother took me to a wedding when I was about 3 or 4, and I wanted to be the bride. And I would take my mother's terry cloth bathrobe, and I would put it on backwards. I would make it off the shoulder, empire waisted. It was beautiful. It was my bridal gown. I guess that's what he's talking about. I don't know.
Well, he's also from Tennessee too, and he has certainly followed your career for quite a while. So I'm pretty sure that he might know more about you than you may be comfortable with him knowing about you. But
people tell me you have to understand I'm 15 years sober. So anything prior to 15 years ago that came out of my mouth when I was drunk, God knows. What?
So it'll be your first trip to Wisconsin. What do you know about Wisconsin?
Cheese. That's about all. Cheese. And I just gave up dairy, so I guess I'll really be screwed.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I just gave up dairy. I gave up dairy and caffeine. I was just having all these stomach problems. And my friend said, well, you drink a gallon of tea. I said, how would tea upset your stomach? He said, iced tea is very acidic with all that equal you put in it. So I've cut out caffeine. I'm just in the worst mood right now.
Well, you're gonna have to bring warm clothes because it's finally getting a little chilly here. It's not exactly Los Angeles weather.
Really? But it won't be that cold, will it? 2 weeks.
Well, it depends.
Probably in the 50s, I think. Somewhere in the 50s. It's
I
beautiful,
gotta go to
though.
St. Paul, Minnesota after. The weird thing is, here's the deal. I'm going to be in Madison.
Yep.
From Madison, I think I'd go over to Eau Claire for one night.
Eau Claire, yeah.
And then up to Chicago.
Oh, my God. You're totally zigzagging.
And now listen to this. Then down to Tennessee for 3 days of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Then to Fort Lauderdale, where I'm getting on a cruise to the Caribbean, the Pied Piper cruise. It's a cruise I do every year where we don't take over the whole ship. There's like 2,000 people, 750 of which are gay. So we sort of take over the ship. And we're going to the Caribbean. So I've got to pack. I was thinking, this is going to be crazy.
Wait, when is the cruise?
I'm getting everything mixed up. Never mind. No, that's St. Paul.
Okay. You're going to go on a cruise in St. Paul?
No, I go to St. Paul the week before Thanksgiving. I'm getting it all mixed up.
There we go.
Now, Madison, I know how to pack for because it'll be Madison, Eau Claire, Chicago, so it'll be all cold.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly.
Let's say you're not going on a cruise in Madison. That's for sure.
No. But I do have to go in November to St. Paul, Minnesota for a week, and then fly to Tennessee for 3 days for Thanksgiving, from Tennessee straight to Fort Lauderdale, and then I get on a boat for the Caribbean. So I will have to pack, like everything from, my seersucker suit for the Caribbean.
Well, we can't wait to have you here, Leslie. The Barrymore Theater this month, the 19th. You can see Leslie Jordan, also known as Beverly Leslie from Will and Grace, Emmy Award winning, hysterically funny, and we can't wait to see you, Leslie. Thank you for taking the time today and being on our show. We really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you here in Madison.
Okay, I look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.